Good evening. So, welcome to book 1 of my autobiographical story, Baby Moscato's Fantastical Adventures in Black Romance. I hope you enjoy this series. I thought long and hard about whether or not I should talk about my experiences on YouTube. But I think there may be some women out there and possibly some men who could benefit from this. So let me just dive in. I find myself in the interesting predicament of dating 4 men at the same time. Let me count. Oh my God, that's correct. I'm dating 4 men at the same time. I didn't mean to be dating 4 men at the same time. It was not supposed to end up like this, but it is. And I find myself getting deeper and deeper into these relationships with each man. And each man has apparently fallen in love with me and are making moves towards stronger commitment and asking for that from me. And though a little bit flattered, I'm also terrified because I have to make a decision. I'm going to break the hearts of 3 of these men and then make 1 man very happy. But in that process, my heart will be broken because I find that I love all 4 of the men equally and differently. And I need to find a way to resolve this before it's too late. Each man has a unique set of qualities that make him beautiful. And I'll say incidentally that all 4 men are black. Beautiful black men with 4 different phenotypes. You know, one of them is about 6'4", this beautiful dark pecan color. He reminds me of, I don't know, he reminds me of a Roman soldier. Like if those soldiers who were black, those black soldiers back in the days of Rome, when Rome was in its glory, when they had black soldiers, this man would have been a black Roman soldier. He has the most amazing African and Grecian features I've ever seen on a black man in my life. And he's very settled and old. He's actually probably 5 years younger than I am, but he has a very old soul. And it comes out when we talk. Sometimes I feel so overwhelmed because his intellect is beyond anything I've ever experienced in my life. Like he has to be the smartest man on the earth. But anyway, I could also be speaking from the heart of love. And then the other one, let me go back. So I'll call my black Grecian, I'll call him K, letter K, to match the first letter of his name. And the second one, I'll call him H. That's the first letter of his name. He's about 6'2", maybe 6'3", and he has has the breadth of K, but he's a little leaner. And he has this dark, dark ebony color to his skin. It's so stunning, so gorgeous. Gorgeous white teeth, you know, and very settled. He also has an old spirit, but he's young in a lot of his experiences. Like, I feel as if when I begin speaking about my life experience, at times it seems to amaze him or overwhelm him. But he's a beautiful man. He is. And then there's C, which is the first letter of his first name. And he has, like, you know, he has that phenotype that I am not traditionally attracted to. And I did not pay attention to him in the beginning. But, you know, he did some work at my home and did a very good job. And he made it very clear, made it known to me that he was interested. I kind of blew him off in the beginning because I'm like, he's not as big as I like them. He's not as tall as I like them. He looks kind of young. He's 3 years younger than I am, but, oh, let me go back. And H is like 8 years older than I am. So he's the only one from the group. Well, actually, he's one of two that are older than I am. But C is 3 years younger than I am. Divorced with 3 children who are now adults. And has made it very clear that he's ready to fall in love again. And he set his sights on me. And a very gentle spirit, but also very traditionalist in his views. And he has a very gentle way of guiding me in my role as the woman in the relationship. At first I was overwhelmed by it. I said, I don't think I want to deal with this. He seems to be a little bit too interested. Maybe he's going too fast. But then one day, I didn't hear from him, and I realized how much I missed his presence. And when I finally did hear from him, he was calmer. He was calmer. And I realized rather that I wanted him in my life. Then, last but not the least, is G. And G, of course, that's the first letter of his first name. G is 3 years older than I am. He has a doctorate. He's funny. He has mercurial mood swings. But he has a heart of gold. And he absolutely adores me. And he makes it known very clearly that he wants to be loved. All 4 of these men. Oh, let me explain G. So his phenotype is not one that I'm normally used to. He may be the same height as I am. And he's very, very light in complexion. Which reminds me, I didn't describe the physicality of C. So C has sort of, I don't know, he's half Panamanian rather. I believe he said his mom was Panamanian or Panamanian. I can't pronounce that word to save my life. And his father is African American. And he has this complexion. It's just really smooth. It's like a dark cinnamon color, almost pecan color. And it's a very smooth complexion. The complexion that a lot of, people of African descent in other countries seem to have. And he's, and kind of slight in his build. And I'm used to bigger, thicker men. But he's strong. Like, he was doing work at my house, and he picked up this, I don't know what he picked up. It must have been like the backing of a fence that had to be about 7 feet wide and 8 feet long. He picked it up like it was nothing. And, you know, even though he doesn't have the physicality that normally attracts me, his gentleness combined with his physical strength and his ability was very attractive. And I just found myself just staring at him a lot when he was working. But of course I don't let him know that I stare at him, but he knows I'm attracted to him. Okay, so then there's G. G has this, what they would call high yellow golden complexion, and I just was not going to pay attention to him at all because I normally just like, you know, I'm dark. I like dark skin. I like dark complexions. I like the thickness of that melanin. I love it. But I met G in a very unusual way. I was standing in Walmart at the cash register, and I heard a noise behind me. I heard someone say, "Wow." And then they kind of did a small whistle, and then they were walking by me as they did this. And as I looked up, I looked directly into the hazel eyes of G. And he looked me right in the face, and he said it again. He said, "Wow." And then he kissed at me. And, you know, I don't know why I didn't just like dismiss him like, whatever, nigga. But I don't know. I was humored by it and complimented by it too. And I just smiled at him and kind of giggled. And I kept on with my transaction. Later that evening, as I was walking out the door with my cart of goods that I had just purchased, I was almost hit by this car that just ran up on me. And it was G. And the first words out of G's mouth were, "Hold on, young lady, you're not going anywhere. I'm getting your number." And I don't know why that didn't like scare me or offend me. I could feel his energy, and I was okay with it. And I remember thinking I had all the usual statements that I wanted to say. "Oh, no, I don't, I'm dating this, blah, blah, blah." But it didn't come out of my mouth. I couldn't say it. I could not say it. I just looked in his eyes, and those gorgeous lips, full and delicious. And he has the most amazing hands. And he gestured with his hands a lot. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to give him my number. And in that brief time we spoke, standing in the middle, well, I was standing and he was riding in his car, out there in the middle of the parking lot, we talked about our travels to other countries, our professions, and a little bit of our aspirations, all within like 3 to 5 minutes. And there were cars behind him beeping their horns. And I remember him saying, "Oh, fuck them. They can wait." So I gave him my number. And then within 5 minutes of giving him my number, he called me to say, "Hey, I'm going to call you tomorrow." And it's just been like amazing since then. I really look forward to hearing from him. Now, that's a brief introduction to the 4 men. Let me add that I have not slept with any of them. We're all in the dating stages. And I've dated some of them longer than others. They've all made it known they are physically attracted to me. And they would like to take things to the next level. And I have not done that because, well, I've been celibate for 3 years. And I've been celibate for a set of very specific reasons, which makes